The views and opinions expressed on the Middle Class VO podcast are solely those of the hosts and guests. Any feelings hurt therein are an unfortunate byproduct of the quest for infotainment. Also, please be reminded that concerted efforts have been made so as not to put anyone's knickers in a twist. Having one's knickers in a twist is not an objective or goal. However, if your knickers are in a twist and it persists for more than 4 hours, please seek out a physician. Moreover, if anyone were to feel besmirched by any of the commentary on the Middle Class VO podcast, it would be purely coincidental. No besmirchment is intended. Please enjoy.
So it is the dreaded Tech Talk. This is probably the worst part of the voiceover business. The down and the dirty, the wires, the cables, the software, the mics. What mic do I use? What should my compressor setting be at? What kind of digital audio editing software do you use?
Nice.
Yeah, it all stinks.
You know what? I never feel more like a girl when it comes to Tech Talk. And you know, here I am, this strong female, and then it was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Bobbi, I'd just like to echo that sentiment. I never feel more like a girl when it comes to the technical side of voiceover.
If you need e-learning, we're just an email away. Corporate narration, tell us what to say. Explainer video, imaging radio, slinging local cars, reading IVR. No, we ain't no stars. This is the Middle Class VO podcast. The Middle Class VO podcast. The Middle Class VO podcast.
My goodness. Oh, I tell you what, though, I have learned so much along the way, and I have had a lot of help along the way, too, and that's why I'm so happy to help people. I've got Kathy, that we met in France for the JMC retreat. I've been consulting with her just to help her out, at VO Atlanta. She had been set up with some sort of, what's the Spire? Some sort of Spire thing that gives you a wireless connection to whatever your computer is or whatever. And it's an interface, but it's wireless. Well, she had no clue how to. I'm like, okay, let's just start a lot more simple than this. So she shipped the Spire back. I got her turned on to a little Focusrite interface that I use for my travel work. Mm-hmm. And mic, interface, computer, done, And now she's wanting to know about software editing. Should she go with Twisted Wave, Adobe Audition, and she mentioned a couple of others. I got to get back with her still on that, but in the very beginning, I highly recommend keep it as simple as possible.
Oh, definitely. I mean, and don't feel like you have to have the best mic coming out of the gate. I mean, I think that's a big issue with people who are getting into the business. They think, oh, I need to get that shotgun mic. Everybody raves about it, but I think any tech person will tell you that room acoustics are much more important than the microphone you're using.
100% agree with that. So let's kind of break it down a little bit, Bobbi. As far as importance level, we're going to be talking to peers, people that have been doing this a long time like you and I have, but there's also going to be people that are new to the business listening to the podcasts, as we found out. So let's break it down. Yeah, exactly that. The acoustics are the most important part. Keep that part as pristine as possible, and then think about your gear. Okay, so as far as acoustics go, when you started out, Bobbi, how did you do your acoustics? I'm going to assume they were on a budget, as mine were when you first got started.
Well, when I first got started, I recorded at the radio station. So, I mean, it was...
Oh, that's cheating.
I know. But...
How did you set up your home booth in that regard?
And so when I decided to really invest in this, I said, I've got to get a home studio because I was just depending on when the prod room was open. But... in my first at-home studio, I was in an office in the basement of my home in a pretty big room, maybe a 10 by 10 room. And it had a back door going into my backyard. So there was the issue of hearing sound coming through that door, and I didn't even think about it. I didn't have any panels on the walls. I just got a microphone. It was a cheaper microphone, and I put the moving blankets around me. I built a little thing, and it wasn't perfect, especially if my neighbor was mowing the grass. But it was okay, especially just for auditioning. And then I would do the actual jobs when I got back to the radio station. And then when I moved after that, I moved to an older home. And again, the same thing. I used one of the smaller rooms in the house. And I bought a microphone from a coworker. It was a, I can't think of the name of the mic now. A Heil mic, I think it was.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, it was a CAD mic. CAD.
Okay.
And which is a good mic, right?
Yeah.
And I put it in my little room, makeshift studio, and it picked up things from like 2 floors down. And I was like, what is going on? I can hear the dog walking downstairs. And
that was my first thought. Is it's a large diaphragm mic,
right,
and it's going to pick up so much room tone, ambience, everything.
Yeah. So it was bad. So until I moved to my current house and my husband built my studio, a room and a room, I really did not have a good situation.
You hit the nail on the head right there. A room inside of a room. That is the ideal situation. I think I've mentioned this before on the podcast, but I've built, I think, 7 booths on my own.
Wow.
And every time they got better. And every time I said, I'm not doing it again. Really, every time I said, I'm not doing it again. And of course, I kept building them. But but here in the last year and a half, I have I believe it's my forever booth, but I'm going to give them a plug because I love it. Vocalbooth.com. They manufacture booths. They shipped it to me in pieces, parts, panels, I should say. And the thing was a beast to get up to the 3rd floor of my studio in the office building where I am. But that gives you an idea of the integrity and the quality of it. But
it's a nice size booth too. You have a really good size booth.
Yeah, it's a 5x7, and I chose the rectangular shape to reduce any reverberant noise on the inside. And the booth is, I'm going to humble brag, the booth is similar to one used by Lady Gaga on her tour bus.
Oh.
Mariah Carey has one. And Donny Osmond has one. Thank you.
Now you're talking.
But going back to the infancy of the voiceover career that I had, my first room, VO room, was a bedroom. And I didn't think much about it. And I got, just some curtains on the walls, put some stuff up on the walls, not much. And then I was getting some echoey recordings. And I'm like, a client mentioned something. I'm like, oh, I got to fix that.
Yeah.
And then I just steadily improved on my booth building. And like I said, I've gone on to build, because I've, in the last 15 years, I guess I'm averaging about a move every 2 years. So I've had to do, every time I'd move, I'd build a new booth. That's the nomad in my genes, I guess. But so I built that number of, actually a couple, though, were improvements over previous booths.
Okay.
In the same place. So there's that. So I've got a lot of experience, but it's a room within a room. Now, if you don't have that, I will tell you the best home recording environment, if you don't have the money, the budget right now to build a booth, is inside a closet full of clothes. Yep. It is amazing how that sounds. And if you can run the cables underneath the door, get your mic set up on a stand somehow inside. I've used hangers in there to hang my mic on. And kind of referencing the large diaphragm mics a minute ago, how much room tone those things pick up, as Bobbi experienced. The shotgun mic is just the opposite. It is so concentrated, it is focused, and that's its job. And I'll tell you, right now, this very second, I am talking into a shotgun mic. It is not the Sennheiser shotgun. I have a Sennheiser shotgun. It's in a case over there in the corner of the room right now. And then I have my Manley reference mic, which is in my booth, and it is a large diaphragm mic. But this is a mic I keep on my desk if I want to do a quick audition, because my room acoustics are decent in my office because I mix. But my point is you don't have to spend $1,000 on the Sennheiser 416. This is an Audio-Technica shotgun mic, and I think I paid $250 for it, maybe, and it works just fine. The sound on it is not bad at all. And so if you want to get a shotgun mic and you want to do it on a budget, you can get a Rode, or you can get the Audio-Technica shotgun mic. I'm not sure the model. I'd have to. Anyway, Audio-Technica shotgun mic.
That's interesting because I've been taking my 416 on the road with me, and I just don't want to do that in case anything would happen or something. But I didn't want to, spend the $1,000 or more to get another one to take on the road with me. So this might be a good thing to check out, those two.
And that was another reason I got this thing. I'll be honest with you. I had some sort of little short in my Sennheiser 416, and I panicked, and I needed a shotgun for the road. And somebody just tuning into this that, might jump in the middle somewhere, and I needed a shotgun for the road. Oh, listen to this hillbilly. Where's he going? Shotgun microphone, that is. And so I did some research, and I'm like, you know what? Audio-Technica, they make great microphones. Their large diaphragm mics are great. And I've been very happy with this thing. So there are times when I do just travel with this and leave the Sennheiser at home.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, don't ever tell TSA when they ask what that is in your bag. It's a shotgun mic.
No, you just say it's a microphone.
I did that, and it's like, oh, you're kidding me. What were you thinking? A what?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So my mic stand, the base of it is a large iron plate, or not a large iron plate, but it's about the size of a saucer, but it's an iron circle thing. Mm-hmm. And no matter what, I get popped for that. They always want to pull it out, see what it is. And that thing in particular, and then of course the mic stand itself, which is about probably about 1.5 feet, collapsed, and it looks like a pipe bomb.
Yeah.
So they are always checking on that thing.
Yeah. I bet you get the scan, don't you? A lot. The body scan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, every time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went to Europe last summer, boy, they really, in Spain, they were like really going through my stuff and explained to me what this is.
She said.
Oh, no, she didn't.
Oh, there you go.
God, I'm sorry.
So anyway, sophomore Bobbi. So anyway, so back to but anyway, you could get a good shotgun mic on a budget. You don't have to get the 416. And going back to a closet being a great acoustical environment to record from, when you're first setting up, that is a great idea. So what microphone do I choose? That can be answered 100 ways. What environment I record in is more important than what microphone you use, right, Bobbi?
Absolutely. I'm lucky enough to have here in my studio at home panels from my old radio station because we moved and they weren't going to use all of them in the new studios, the new facility. And I just saw them.
Oh, and they conveniently ended up in your house.
Well, I asked them. It's like I saw them.
Oh, okay.
Like there were 10 of them just leaning up against a wall, and I knew that the stations had pretty much moved. And I just went to the engineer and said, "What are you doing with those?" He goes, "You want them?" And I was like, "Yes." So I grabbed them, and they're awesome. So I don't really have the foam in here. I just have the built panels, which are like 5 feet tall, I guess.
Yeah, talking about panels, and we're going to be squirreling all over the place, but
yeah.
Talking about panels, I have built panels. I've got 2x4 panels built that are set up in my outside area, outside of my booth, because I mix and produce out here. But you can make some nice sound panels on a budget. I got some cloth from Walmart. I got some carpet padding that actually a carpet store gave me. It was remnants they had, and I used that as the stuffing and just got some 1x4 strip wood and created these 2x4 panels with some cloth from Walmart. And, I probably built these for about $6 or $7 each.
Wow, that's
awesome. And they
awesome.
absorb room noise nicely. They really do. And when I first got started, Bobbi, and I wanted some foam to deaden that echo in the room, if you've got a recording environment that's larger and you need to deaden that echo on a budget, I'm telling you, the Orlex stuff, it's expensive. It's great, but it's expensive. So I went to Walmart. I went to Wally World. I got me some mattress toppers, those like 1 to 2 inch mattress toppers, and they were perfect,
Kevin,
for it.
That's my story I was going to tell you about.
Right.
My daughters live in Nashville, and I visit there a lot. And next month, I'm going to be dog sitting, and I'll be there for 10 days. So I needed something acoustic. I'm staying in my daughter's house. So I told my husband, can I buy a whisper room and keep it down there? No, they're too expensive.
Yeah.
And then her basement where I was going to have it is very, very low ceilings. It's an older home. And I thought, what can I do? So we had just bought a new mattress topper because we'd had the other one for like 4 years. And we were going to throw it out. And I went, wait a minute. This is perfect. You build the 4 sides in the top, or the 3 sides in the top, and we'll line that with the mattress topper. And this one's like 4 inches. And you're right. It's perfect.
It absorbs sound great. It is great.
Yeah, and you just stick your head in there, and especially with the shotgun. My client did not know that I wasn't in my studio last weekend when I used it.
Skip-it-a-bop-bop-wow.
Yeah, you use a shotgun mic inside of a box that has mattress foam topper on it, and you're not going to be able to tell the difference between that and my vocal booth, which is sad in a way.
Hey, it ain't purty. It's got a pee stain from the dog in one corner, but...
Watch out where the huskies go. Don't you eat that yellow snow.
As long as you don't have to smell that while you're doing a VO. Oh, but Bobbi, similar thing, Steve built that for you, which is a perfect travel companion. Stuff I've used, there was a time when I had an ice storm and I was not able to work at my studio. And I had brought my microphone home and I didn't have a closet that I could use. Long story, but so I got a storage tote. A big storage tote that, you get from Walmart or whatever. I cut a hole in the back about the size of a $50 to run my shotgun microphone cable through. And then I lined the interior of that storage tote with my foam, hung the microphone in there, and it sounded great.
Really?
It sounded great. So that's another idea for traveling. And then I ended up using that tote to put all my gear in when I traveled. And then boom, also, it's my little vocal booth. So there are so many different ideas.
And then there's the pillow,
so many
the
people have
pillow
different
fart
questions.
in the hotel room. I use that all the time. Just, you get the...
Did you say pillow fart?
Pillow fort. Sometimes. But
it almost sounded like you said fart.
I probably did. Somebody just told me again this week that I sound Southern. And I was like, no, I don't. I'm from Ohio. Yeah, you just use the little thing that you lay your luggage on, put it up on the desk.
Yep.
And then take the comforter from the bed and the pillows and just stuff them around the corners, and it works wonders.
Yeah, it's amazing. And, the thing, too, is back in the old days when everybody was going to studios, they had the perfect setups. They would never dream of having somebody record the way we're describing. But things have changed so much on the back end and how much people are able to clean up audio and make it pristine.
True.
So that's helped out our industry a fair amount.
I never forget when Joe Cipriano, I took a course with him about 3 years ago. When he told me, because he travels a lot and he's one of those that's chained to the mic, he said that some of the best audio is in his car, his rental car.
Yeah.
He just goes out there and, make sure you have a pretty decent car that is going to have that nice, quiet sound. And that's where he sends his stuff back to the networks.
Skip-it-a-ba-ba-ba.
Yeah. Cars are great environments to record in. I was just telling this to a client the other day because this client that I have, an automotive client, they have an automotive dealer that likes to record its own spots, and they sound echoey. And so they came to me and they said, Kev, can you help us on this? I'm like, yeah, put him in a car. Have him record from a car.
Yeah.
He's at a dealership. He's going to have a few available. Have him record from a car. They have great recording environments. You bring your laptop in there and your little microphone. And I've actually had some people, I've helped them get set up on an iPhone where your interface is something called an iRig, and you're able to plug in an XLR cord to the iRig, and then the iRig interfaces with your iPhone, and you can record directly to your iPhone. So that's how I've had some dealers do that too. But for our purposes, oh my gosh, there's a million questions, and there's an equal number of answers for any particular problem.
Oh, yeah. Source Connect, a big thing that people are using now, especially with ISDN kind of going away. There are so many levels of Source Connect now, and I didn't realize. I knew that there was the free one, the Now, is it called?
Yeah, I think so.
And then there's Standard, and there's Pro, and there's Pro X now. I learned this from a studio I had to use a couple of days ago. It's pricey, but it allows you to do so much more. So anyway, I have a session scheduled next week, and I just jumped on Source Connect yesterday at home just to make sure everything was working. And there it said, port not open. I was like, oh no, I'm so glad I looked at this. And I had let my Source Connect support lapse like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago and just didn't do it.
Oh,
and I went,
right.
Oh, no. And my husband's out of town. Here I am. I'm the girl again. I don't know what I'm doing.
Damsel in distress.
And so I re-upped with Source Connect support, called them. They share your screen. He went in, and we had gotten new internet a month ago, and I didn't even think about it. So he had to open that port again.
You forget about that stuff.
I know.
I mean, you don't even think about it.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. But that's one lesson learned from that, Bobbi, is be prepared. You can't help technology. You can help being prepared for your session, though. And thankfully, that's what you did. You were you were preparing and making sure there were no issues, and that saved your butt.
Yeah, big time. Big time.
I'm a fan of Source Connect. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I've never had any issues with it dropping out. So I'm okay with Source Connect as far as connectivity with studios. There's IPDTL, ISDN still, and there's Comrex has something now too. I'm not sure what it is, but Comrex, which was an old radio broadcast gear supplier, for telephone stuff. They've come through with some ISDN type stuff. So there's any number of things that you can have. Have we helped people today, you think? Hopefully some of the stuff we've shared today has helped.
I do. I think it's things that maybe we now take for granted, but I'm sure especially people starting out were like, oh, for example, I'm talking to you right now through my microphone and recording on my DAW, but I'm listening to you through Google Voice in the computer, which I don't have to use a landline anymore, and it's free and it sounds incredible.
Good.
And it's simply through your computer.
For those that don't know, Bobbi, what is a DAW? DAW is an acronym. What does that stand for?
Here I go. Yeah. Digital Audio Workplace.
Something like that.
Yeah. Digital Audio
Workstation. Workplace.
Yeah. Yeah. I use Adobe Audition. CC, what do you use?
I'm currently on Pro Tools, but I am making the transition to Adobe Audition in the coming weeks.
Oh.
That is a personal choice, and I'll tell you, it's going to be tough because I've been a Pro Tools guy and proponent for decades.
Really?
And I'm I'm getting away from producing as much. But Adobe Audition is still great for producing. Adobe Audition, I will say, though, Bobbi, is probably overkill for somebody that just wants to record a VO and send a VO.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
I think Twisted Wave is a great tool because I think Twisted Wave is more geared for people that are just recording VO. and sending that. I don't think you really edit much with that, except for cleaning up, your vocals. And then Audacity. People still use Audacity, the free program. There's Pro Tools. There's Pro Tools, Adobe Audition are probably the two the most popular that people use.
I think GarageBand.
Logic.
Is GarageBand still out there?
GarageBand, I guess people could use GarageBand. What is the Cubase? There's Cubase. There's any number of, and there's probably more that I don't even know about.
Yeah.
But I had been happy with Pro Tools for so long, and I've used Adobe Audition quite a bit too. But I am going to be going to Adobe Audition full time before too long. I'm
welcome
sorry,
to the
Pro Tools.
club. If there's one thing that I would highly, highly, highly recommend, this was the best purchase I made in the past year, is getting the plug-in, the Isotope RX6, RX7. Which one did I get?
Oh.
With the
how did you hear about that?
trying to think. I think it was sent out on one of the voiceover community. Might have been VoiceOver Extra or something like that, and they were offering.
Didn't I help you that with you big goof?
Did you do it?
Yes. I gave you technical support on it.
Sorry, not sorry.
You big goof. I like how you say it. You big goof. I'm going, why is he asking me that? It was Kevin Kilpatrick. He saved my career. If you need anything, you call Kevin Kilpatrick.
No, you don't.
I love you,
I would
man.
gladly answer anybody's question.
You did. I totally
but you
forgot.
talk about a game changer. That thing will get rid of mouth clicks. It will crackles in your voice. I've found a setting that will get rid of if you have a sibilant shh, like a harsh shh. If you say harsh, that kind of sound, it'll clean that up. Oh my gosh, it has saved my butt in so many ways. And I had a VO talent that was regularly doing work for me, and her environment was not the best. And I was able to go in with Isotope and set up a template for her VO. And then all I got to do is boom, boom, click, clean. And it's great software. If you're looking, there's a little bit of a learning curve though.
Yeah.
But it is great software.
Unless the client says send absolutely raw audio, I will use it every single time.
That's a good point. So we've rambled on about various tech stuff. We've talked microphones a little bit. We've talked about the importance of the recording environment. One of the most important things is your recording environment. The price of your microphone doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. There are great microphones for $200. There are fantastic microphones for $2,000 and up. Just you got to figure out what your budget is and, what your needs are.
And you know what? You can find a lot of extra information on the Facebook pages if you're not already part of them. The VoiceOver Pros. I mean, there's so many of them. Because they talk about technical things and equipment all the time. And it's nice to hear the veterans, what they think, as opposed to the people like, us middle-class people and then the newbies coming in. It's amazing to hear what everybody chimes in with.
Yeah.
And then there's the VO Gear Exchange. You can find some really good deals on there. I'm about to post my Neumann 102 on there. If you know anybody who wants a Neumann.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why are you getting rid of that? Are you going exclusively shotgun?
Yep. That's exactly why.
Okay.
I just love this mic, and I tried the Neumann out, and I kept going back to my 416. So, it's whatever works best for you.
Yeah, some people collect microphones.
Yeah. I collect microphones. You've never seen my case, have you?
Hot topic, sizzling.
Do you have more than just a shotgun mic in your TLM?
I have an antique case of microphones all the way back to like the 20s,
What?
Kevin. Yeah.
Are you joking me?
I'm not kidding. I got it for a Christmas present like 5 or 6 years ago. And I have the classic, what is it called? Is it the Shure? You see them all the time on movie sets. And then I have this tiny little thing. It's got to be from the 20s. But yeah, I have let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's in my studio. There's probably 15 mics in there. And they just, I just love it because this has been my life from radio to voiceover.
Wow.
Yeah.
I covet thy antique mics. I really do.
Well, when I go,
Don't turn your head.
I'm going to put you in my will, okay? Kevin gets my mics.
Okay, fair enough. Well, hopefully we've imparted some information that is useful to the people that are listening. Yeah, you never know. I'm sure people glean some stuff they can use. And Bobbi, do you have any additional thoughts about Tech Talk?
I'm still learning every day, and I just Google and go to those sites, and it's just like anything else. You read about it or you actually use it. You learn so much, and it just gets your sound better and better all the time.
And I think we can go ahead and plug two guys that I know in the industry that are well respected and do a lot of work with VO people in helping them improve their sound. So if you are in a pinch and you want to hire some help, I would recommend two people. One is George Whittam, and the other is Tim Tippett.
Yep.
You can look those guys up, George Whittam, Tim Tippett. They're guys that, they supplement their income with, helping people like you and I get their gear sounding right and get their overall sound polished and that kind of thing. And from the basics to the more experienced, I'm actually going to reach out to them myself on some stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Uncle Roy is a good third one, too. He's very kind about helping people in the industry.
Uncle Roy Yokelson. Yes. Can't forget him. So, and I'm saying his last name right, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, Yokelson.
Because you're a voiceover guy.
So, I got to make sure and say that right. Bobbi, it's been fun as usual. So make sure and look for us. We're going to be on, we're expanding to all the important social platforms. We're talking about Instagram, LinkedIn, iTunes, YouTube. We're going to be put on blast, y'all. We're going to be put on blast.
Follow us and check us out every week.
The Middle Class VO Podcast is a K2 Media Productions production.
All views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and guests. The McVob jingle was written and produced by Kevin.
Co-produced and performed by Chloe Dolandis.
Additional engineering by Zach Zimmett.
Bobbi's hair and makeup by Rebecca Adlita.
Kevin's wardrobe by Slippery Pete's Fashion Emporium.
All previous episodes are available for download on Podbean.
For the Middle Class VO Podcast, I'm Tracy Thibodeau.
I'm Lisa Lou Perry.
Thanks for listening.
And don't miss the next episode of
The Middle Class VO Podcast. The Middle Class VO Podcast.
Bobbi, I'd just like to echo that sentiment. I never feel more like a girl when it comes to the technical side of voiceover.